You wanted the best. You've got the best podcast. The hottest podcast in the world. The Chris Voss Show, the preeminent podcast with guests so smart you may experience serious brain bleed. The CEOs, authors, thought leaders, visionaries, and motivators. Get ready. Strap yourself in. Keep your hands, arms, and legs inside the vehicle at all times, because you're about to go on a monster education roller coaster with your brain. Now, here's your host, Chris Voss.
Hi, folks. Chris Voss here from the ChrisVossShow.com. There you go, lady. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. When the shrill lady sings it, that makes it official. Welcome to the big show. As always, the Chris Voss Show is a family that loves you but doesn't judge you. But no, we won't take a bath with you either. So further show your family, friends, and relatives. Go to Goodreads.com/Chris Voss. The judge says we can't do that anymore. LinkedIn.com/Chris Voss. Chris Voss won the TikTok, and Facebook.com/Chris Voss. I don't know what any of that means. I think it's a scene from that one movie, Good Daddy, or whatever, from I forget the SNL comedian. He's like, no, I can't bathe you. I don't know what the rules are. Anyway, guys, movie joke references to lead off on the Chris Voss Show. I don't know. It's a ramble. We do it random every time. I just make shit up, and sometimes it's funny, and most times it's not. Anyway, we have an amazing young man on the show. We're going to be talking about his journey through life, his lessons of life, his stories, things that are the fabric of his life that he's going to share with you and improve the quality of your life, make you feel good. And I hope he's here for that. He might be here to make you feel bad. I don't know. We'll find out. But I'm trying to set him up for so high. He's going to have to work hard to climb that mountain for our audience. But he is the author of the book that came out October 29th, 2024, called I Will Get By. Fred Cadden is on the show with us today, and we're going to be talking to him about his insights, his experience, etc., etc. He grew up in the town of Poughkeepsie, New York. Poughkeepsie, New York. You know, I knew what that was, but I just cannot put it together on the quick read. Boarding on the town of Hyde Park, New York, home of FDR, Fred attended Franklin Delano Roosevelt High School, graduated in 1969. He attended Dutchess Community College, joined the Air Force in 71, served in Nam in 71 and 72, served in England 72 to 75, trained as a medic and medical administrator. After the Air Force, Fred moved to Houston, Texas, where a summer job was waiting for him. Fred attended the University of Houston from 75 to 77. He worked at Joskies, now Dillard's. Just say Dillard's. Everyone knows who Dillard's is. Starting in the credit department, worked his way up to assistant collection manager. From there, he worked at several independent oil and gas exploration companies, where he established the credit function for the collection of joint interest billings. It's his fault, folks. Fred graduated from the University of Houston, downtown, in 1986, with a BBA concentration in accounting. He's now retired and living in Florida because that's what retired people do. Welcome to the show, Fred. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me. Yeah.
Thanks for coming. It's wonderful to have you as well. Give us your .coms. How can people find you on the interwebs?
It's Frederick, FREDERICK, L Cadden, CADDEN.com.
There you go.
Books.com. I'm sorry.
Got to get the books in there. There'll be a link on the Chris Voss Show, too, if you need it. So give us a 30,000 overview. What's inside your new book?
Well, I started writing it a few years ago, and I never really got off finishing it. And I did it basically for my kids, as a memoir and a legacy to leave for them. The story of my life. And, so because, I grew up, kids were seen and not heard. And I just wanted my kids to know about me. And, because I had to wonder about my parents, because I'm always asked medical questions, what's the medical history of your family? And that was always quiet. So
really,
so I wanted to.
Was there a reason for that?
No, it's just an old-fashioned
we don't talk
nuance,
about
I guess. So yeah. So I started it a few years ago. I got through Vietnam.
Yeah.
And
what was that like?
Well, it was an experience. So
Yeah.
uh, I was basically for all you MASH fans out there, I was a cross between Radar and Klinger, except I didn't wear a dress.
I was just gonna pull that joke, so thankfully you beat me to it.
That's-
So
so
I can
yeah.
see you in a dress. Wait,
Oh
no,
well,
that's not right.
maybe not.
It's
Excuse me. But anyway,
the only Klinger joke I can come up with for the
yeah.
MASH reference. I grew up watching MASH. What a great show. But
I mean,
how long were you in Vietnam?
uh, I was in Vietnam for a year,
Yeah, I think I
and
said that in the bio actually, come to
yeah,
think of it.
and I manned the hospital command post in the evenings, and
Okay.
so
So
it's
you're working with people like Ellen Alda and all
yeah.
the MASH. There you go.
And I was responsible for, if anything happens, we are attacked, or if
Mhm.
a plane came in on a wing and a prayer, then I would notify everybody and send
Mhm.
ambulances out to the flight line,
Oh,
whatever,
wow.
and do that. So I was responsible for that. I also worked a medevac, and I
Mhm.
was responsible for moving patients through the aeromedical evacuation
Mm.
and um, recording all the deaths and patient situations. So
Mhm.
it was an experience. Well, one day I got off work and it was 7 in the morning, and I went back to my hooch, and I was back there, and I saw all these security police standing around. And I'm going, what the heck's going on? Did they find my stash? And I was so, but anyway, they turned out there was next door neighbor, a guy that lived next door. He had a Ciclo girlfriend that was a VC major. They caught her with a transmitter and receiver, and
Oh, wow.
she was there to plot out us medics. So,
Oh, wow.
uh,
Scary.
that race, yeah, that was one experience. And then
Mhm.
about a month after I was there in Vietnam, a sapper snuck on base and blew up our ammo dump.
Mhm.
And so there were clusters of 500-pound bombs going off all night long.
Wow.
And so when it started, I was, having a break outside the emergency room with my buddy. We were having a cigarette break, and then we were talking to this Army Master Sergeant who just came in from the bush. And, we're just sitting there talking, and all of a sudden we see this flash, uh, brilliant flash, like, the sky lit up like the sun,
Mhm.
and then a loud boom. And, I looked at my buddy, and we looked around, and the master sergeant was gone. We couldn't see him.
Oh,
So
no.
there was a 3 foot high brick fence around the hospital, and he jumped behind there. So, as soon as we saw him there, we got our asses down there.
Oh,
So
yeah. Yeah.
yeah. Anyway,
This is pretty
and that
wild.
yeah,
Yeah.
there was in the mix of the bombs, there was napalm and Agent
Yeah.
Orange going off. So
Yeah.
we were breathing that stuff for weeks. Anyway,
Jesus. Wow. And you're still
uh,
alive today, so that's
I'm
good because that
I'm
stuff
sorry.
was,
Yeah, I'm
pretty
still
bad.
alive.
Yeah. I did a stint in Vietnam too. Most people don't believe me because I look so young. And but yeah, I killed about 20 Charlies. And yeah, and then I got
Wow.
on a plane this week and came back. It was just a vacation.
Yeah.
I stole that joke from a movie. There you go. But it's good. It's good to play on people because I'll be like, "Yeah, I was in Nam," and they're like, "What?" And I'll tell them I have a plate in my head.
Yeah.
I'll and then I do the bit about how I was this Saturday last week. Anyway, go ahead. Finish your story of life.
So anyway, I taught. Uh, I was asked to cover a class. I was teaching English to Vietnamese civilians who worked on base,
Hmm.
and so that was interesting. I got to know the people, and
Hmm.
uh, it was a good relief from the day-to-day grind. So anyway, I did that, and then moved on to after Nam. I went to England. I was at
Hmm.
RAF Alconbury, and that was that was fun. So England was a big difference from Vietnam. So uh,
Wow.
moved on there, and I was NCO in non-commissioned officer in charge of the registrar services in the clinic there. And so it was a reconnaissance base, and it was during the Cold War, and we did recon missions. And we had an army detachment to interpret the photographs that our guys took.
Hmm.
So it was interesting part of the Cold War and
Oh
NATO,
yeah.
all that good stuff.
Yeah.
So uh, anyway, where was I? With
Cold War in Europe.
yeah, in England.
Mhm.
And
England.
interesting,
Well, places.
interesting story. Uh, I had a doctor friend of mine um, did a operation on my. I had a cyst on my arm, so he took that off. So I asked him if he could do my circumcision as well.
Mm.
So,
How old were you? Wait, how old are you at
I,
this time?
yeah, I was what was how old? I was about 21, 22.
Yeah, the adult
And
circumcision. That sounds like
yeah,
a riot.
yeah, and one of the gals there was saying, "Oh,
I mean, that's not code for getting married, right?
Fred's having a bar mitzvahs." Code for getting married. Anyway, uh,
I get that and emasculation mixed up.
yeah,
Yeah.
he did the circumcision, and he's a good friend of mine. Years late, well, after that happened, my friend, I was groggy from the anesthesia, and a friend of mine took me over to another friend's house, and we
Mhm.
were sitting there for about 20 minutes, and all of a sudden my friend turns on these blue movies, porn, right? I
Mm.
just I just had a circumcision, and I'm going, heck, I'm not gonna bust my stitches. Nice friends. So anyway, that was funny.
Oh.
So um, England was good. I toured England, and had friends of mine that were I lived with, and he had an MG midget, and three of us took off in an MG midget and toured Europe.
Oh wow.
Went
That had to
down,
be fun.
it
Now,
was it was
wait,
tons of
three of
fun.
you in a MG midget
MG
though?
midget, yeah,
Is that
yeah.
does that
I
sound
I
like
was
is
I was stuffed in the back, so
yeah, they put you in the trunk or something.
yeah,
They
I
put you in the
was
bonnet or whatever it's
I was
called.
a lot lighter then back then.
Is the
So
bonnet the front or the back in England?
oh, the
I don't
bonnet,
know. Yeah, there's the front and the back, and
yeah,
they call the
it's,
front something
I
different
think it's
than
the front, yeah, the
yeah, yeah,
bonnet.
yeah, yeah.
So
So you weren't in the bonnet, you were in the trunk, maybe. I don't
yeah.
know. So there you go. I don't know. I don't. Ever since we overthrew those English people, I don't have much respect for whatever English terms, but they're wonderful people. I
Yeah,
don't know. The King's
it was
English.
it was a lot of fun. I mean, I had a lot of friends in King's College, Cambridge, that we were introduced to, and they remained friends. And um, when I left England, they had a going away party for me in the basement of King's College. Friend had a band, and a guy I worked with was blowing saxophone, and it was a fun time. So um, I left England, went to Houston,
Ah,
and there was a summer job waiting for me in Houston. And so a friend of mine that I grew up with, his father was building a slabs, and Houston was a boom town back then. It was
yeah,
really
it's probably
booming.
grown.
And this was in 1975, and um, worked the summer there, and then started the U of H that next semester. Well, as things go, um, uh, the VA benefits kind of fizzled out. So I had to get a job and go to work. So I met a friend in one of my classes that worked at Josky's, and he said they had an opening. So I tried out and got it, and worked part time there. And then did that for a while, and then I went to Herman Hospital, which was the oldest hospital in the area there in Houston, and they became medical records supervisor. So there I managed 8 employees, and we managed to convert 35,000 medical records from alpha filing to terminal digit. So I
Wow.
did that in about 2 months, and got bored with that. So my friend called me back from Joski's, said, "Hey, there's another position open for you over here." And so I went back there and worked my way up from night credit guy to um, authorizations manager, and then to assistant collection manager.
Oh.
I was one of the first guys they put through the uh, uh, executive training program that didn't have a degree at that time.
Wow.
So that was an achievement. And there, one of my employees that had given notice, I asked her out. Of course, I didn't date an employee while I worked there, but anyway, asked her out, and we started dating, and
Mm.
she became my wife, and then we had
Mm.
a son.
Mhm.
So
Yeah. That's usually what happens. It starts with the dating and then the kids show up. It's
yep,
there's
yeah.
there's a connection there, but they've figured out what's going on there. You probably heard about it. So there you go.
Yeah. So, in all this, we decided to move out into the country because, my new wife, her dream was having a horse. So we got her
Oh,
a horse, and we
there you go.
stabled the horse, and that became too expensive. So we moved out into the country and got a 4-bedroom farmhouse.
Mhm.
And so did
There
that.
you
Yeah, I was
there you go. It's quite the journey you have there. And so you detail this in basically the book is a memoir. I Will Get By.
correct.
Mhm.
And it's all in the book. And basically, after Joski's, I went into my friend introduced me to a treasurer who was looking for a collection guy. So
Mm.
I went in to interview, and we hit it off the bat right away. So I went to work collecting joint interest billings,
Mhm.
and joint interest billings is uh, when you go when an exploration company goes out and wants to drill a well, they get joint venture partners, and each partner has a percentage in that well.
Mm.
I'm sorry, not will. Anyway, if they have a 10% interest, and we start drilling, then they owe 10% of the operating costs and the drilling and operating costs. So once that well produces, they get 10% of the revenue that comes out of
Ah,
the well.
so
So that's
okay.
how that works. So what I did, I collected both joint interest billings, and I collected revenue from the trans, you know, transportation companies that
Mhm.
transported the
Wow.
product. So
It's gotta be
and it
really
was it was
lucrative.
interesting, yeah, and it was you know, I was collecting $1 million receivables, millions of dollars,
Yeah.
and so eventually at that company I collected myself out of a job. So I started interviewing. They were having problems, so I started interviewing for my second company,
Uh-huh.
and so they hired me on, and I was their credit and collections supervisor, and did the same thing. So it, it's you're a negotiator really what you're doing when you're doing the collections, and um, you're really a negotiator. And once you get that big uh, check in, well, you want to celebrate. I had a bell I would ring, and I would go around the floor doing a victory lap. So it was, you know, it, it was a good experience. So, but anyway, it got to the point where I picked up a $5 million check from one of our transportation people. And I came back, and the guy said, "Well," uh, to the CFO, and the CFO says, "Well, Fred, I have to let you go,
Why?
um, uh, because they were downsizing
Oh,
and they were going out of business."
so you
So,
kept the $5 million check, man?
yeah, I tried to. No, he would. he
I'm
ripped
fired. It's mine now.
he ripped it out of my hand. Said, "Oh, gotta let you go." Said, "Good
Wow.
collection work, though."
Good
Oh,
collection
gee,
for $5
thanks.
million. Gee, thanks. Wow.
But anyway,
That's just,
yeah,
it
that was.
seems like you'd want to keep a guy like you around. I've had hundreds of thousands of dollars owed to us in collections, and we've had to go to small claims over the decades to deal with it.
Yeah,
And and it's such an annoyance, but it's a good collector is like really important. And last time I checked, you're always going to have collections to collect on, people that don't pay their bills. So I don't know. That seems
yeah,
like very short-sighted as a business.
yeah.
Kind of maybe a lesson there
So
for
the next
people.
company I worked for,
Mhm,
uh, I started the credit function there, and
mhm,
um, you know, it it it's a lesson too, because when you work for somebody, some people have the idea that you make your manager look good. Well, that's good to a certain extent, but if your manager takes all the credit for what you do, then you have to work around that.
mm.
So, that's a another lesson in itself. But anyway, I did that, and I basically created the credit function, and I started the credit marketing function as well, where we got um, I negotiated contracts for gas sales agreements, and um, gas sales contracts. So
Mhm.
um, uh, that was fun, and I worked
Good.
with land, legal, and all of that. And you you pretty much have to work things the way you call it, because you're there, you're on the floor, you know what's
Mhm,
going on. And usually, the people above you don't have a clear picture. They have, like a box everything has to fit in, and a lot of times things don't fit in the box.
mm.
So you have to work around that, and that's basically the lesson that I learned. And uh, well, uh, all my kids are grown. They're all
Mhm.
responsible, and
That's
they have good
unfortunate.
they
You gotta
have
have
good
some
jobs.
you gotta have
Yeah.
some bad, cheap kids like me. They're irresponsible.
No, they're all good. They're all good.
That's unfortunate.
I had five kids.
You must have done something right, though.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, yeah. It's a pat on the
Two,
back right there.
yeah,
Mhm.
two were my own, and I had three stepkids. So
Oh, yeah. There you
that
go.
was that was good. So the lesson I give, and I like everybody to take away from this book, is sometimes you got to take the bull by the tail and face the situation.
The bull by the
By the
tail
tail and
and
face the
face the
situation.
situation. Give us some depth on that, if you would.
W.C. Fields.
Ah, wait. Didn't he have an alcohol problem?
No, there comes a time in the affairs of men one must take the bull by the tail and face the situation.
There you go. Look
Well,
down the
that,
mouth of the
y-
dragon.
yeah, like it's just sometimes in life you have to face adversity and hardship, and people will dump on you, like the bull, and
Mhm.
so you have to rise above that and keep on pushing. And once you keep on pushing, it's you know it'll work out. It's just like I was in my manager's office one day. We were reading the Wall Street Journal, and saw how Enron was having difficulties. We could see that,
Mhm.
you could see that online. You could see that in the journal, in the papers, and just negative things were happening. So I got with our oil marketing guys, because we were selling oil to Enron, and um, we said, well, how much are we doing? And, what can we do to stop it if we need to? So we were selling about $300,000 a month in oil. And if we needed to, we could stop it, and tank it. So I went up back to my manager and I said, listen, we got to do something about this. So he says, okay, put it in a memo. So I did. I put it in a memo, and he shot it all the way up and went all the way up to the CEO. And so we stopped that. The next day, we got a call from the head legal counsel at Enron, threatening to sue us over the breach of contract because we stopped the sales to him. So 3 days later, they filed bankruptcy. So,
I was just gonna say, like, you guys were the unethical ones next to
right,
Enron, right? Yeah,
right. So
that was a shit show, man.
it was
a complete and utter shit show, but crazy.
Yeah, we dodged a bullet there. So
oh yeah, all the shell companies. I mean, that whole company was shell companies. I think, if I recall it. Anyway, the kids right now are going, Enron. What's Enron?
Right.
There you go.
So the moral of this book and the story is keep on pushing, don't give up. If you're right, you're right, and even if people try to say no, that's not right, just keep on going, because you'll get there eventually and things will work out. So
there you go. I will get by. Give us some depth on why you chose that title.
The obstacles I encountered, Vietnam, England.
You saw some. I mean, you lived in some very interesting times. The old Chinese curse made you live in interesting times, and you lived in some. The Cold War. Vietnam was a hard time, of course, when people came back from Vietnam. There was, you had Nixon. That was fun.
Right. Yeah.
Victory.
Yeah.
That's my bad Nixon. We had it wasn't Ehrlichman. We had somebody on from the Nixon White House a year or two ago. And he was one of the staff, and he'd finally written a book and told his story. So it was kind of interesting. But yeah.
He was my commander in chief.
Nixon or Ehrlichman?
Nixon.
Yeah, I guess yeah, that's right. Yeah, technically, yeah, that would be the thing. It was kind of interesting how they run that war with the college degree boys who were trying to, they were trying to get reporting and numbers back. Like at one point they wanted body, like a head or proof of kills brought back. And you're like, you want me to drag that through the jungle, buddy? It's really weird to read about Vietnam and stuff. But I was there last week. And there's still Charlies over there. So I don't know. I keep getting calls, though, from the consulate. So I don't know what that's about. So I will get by. So your message to people is you can get through this. You can survive. You can just keep plowing on. There's an old rule that I've heard people say that, I don't know if this is similar, you tell me, but sometimes half the battle is just showing up.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
showing up,
correct.
Doing the work. I like the analogy, eat the elephant one bite at a time. Sometimes when I feel really overwhelmed by something, I just go, just eat the elephant one bite at a time. Let's just start on the outside and work our way in the plate.
Exactly. Yeah.
And, one bite, chew a lot, and, take whatever. If it takes time, it takes time. That's just the way it's going to have to be. But the only way to get started is to start, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm. So, inspiring testament to the power of perseverance. I'm having a seizure, evidently. An inspiring testament to the power of perseverance. Within each page, Fred reminds us of how our past shapes us. And no matter the obstacles we face, we can emerge stronger and more resilient than ever. And what a great story, too. How old are you now, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm 74.
You've lived a wonderful life, man. You've seen some things.
Yeah, I've got a 24-year-old girlfriend.
Do you really?
Oh, just kidding.
I was going to say, God bless you. In fact, I was just reading that Bill Belichick, maybe there's a rumor he might be marrying that young lady.
Yeah, I heard they got engaged somehow.
Is
Yeah.
that what it is?
Yeah.
They got
Yeah.
engaged? Well, good for her.
So
And good for him too. I'm all, love finds itself in weird places. So there you go. And besides, I mean, he is the goat of football coaches. I mean,
yeah,
him and Tom Brady can do whatever the fuck they want for the rest of their lives.
really,
Get free
exactly.
beers. So there you go. They get a pass. Although I'm still trying to forgive Tom Brady for the Raiders stealing the Raiders Super Bowl. But that whole, what was that thing? The clutch or the pitch or the forward motion of the arm? I forget what
Oh
it's Tuck
yeah.
rule. It's Huck
Right.
rule.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the Raiders game. Should have been. Anyway, we've been going downhill ever since, but that's a coaching problem.
Yeah.
It's the family. Get rid of them. Anyway,
So my next book's going to be about I think the CIA approaches me as a 74-year-old.
oh,
And
serious?
they're going to team me up with a 24-year-old blonde.
Oh, okay.
And so, we're
It
going to
sounds like a movie. It
Yeah,
sounds
we're
like a
gonna go
movie
spy.
premise.
Yeah.
And you're like Clint Eastwood, and you're looking at the gal. I forget the name of this movie, but there was the one gal from. She later went on to that series with the two gals that were detectives, Cagney and Lacey, I think it was.
Yeah, Cagney
It was
and
the
Lacey.
brunette gal, and I forget the
Yeah.
movie of. But he's like, what am I? You want me to put an old man with this young lady, and she's, green behind the ears, fresh out of, police school. I'm gonna get my ass blown off. So
Yeah.
there you go. But I mean, that's usually what happens when old guys get with young women. They get their ass blown off, financially, maybe.
Well,
Maybe
it'll be a fun book,
So is this a real story that's happening to you, or is this going to be a novel?
Oh, it's going to be a novel.
Okay,
Yeah.
you had me going.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
It's going to be from this point onward.
Mhm.
The first book is from like that, and this
Does
is.
your wife know you're writing this story?
Well, no, I'm divorced. I'm single. I live alone in Florida.
You can
Yeah.
write whatever the hell you want, then,
That's
brother.
right.
I was just gonna say, if you were married and your wife would be like, "You write a book about a 25-year-old girl? How much of that Bill Belichick stuff you've been watching?" Yeah, there you go. I mean, that might be a good thing. Sean I could see you doing a Sean Connery sort of role. CIA, which is kind of like what is it, MI6, MI5 or
Yeah.
6 or
MI6.
I don't know. Might be IMS7 by now. Who knows? So there you go. Well, anything more you want to? Huh?
It's all in fun.
All in fun. All in fun. Don't arrest me, MI6. So there you go. But I wouldn't mind hanging out with James Bond. That might be cool. So whichever one they're putting in this week.
Yeah, really.
They bought this. I guess Amazon bought the series or Netflix bought the series, and there's rumors that they just might turn it into something really crazy, stupid, like they did with Star Wars, where there's going to be like a million versions of James Bond, which is just gonna ruin it. But it won't. It won't. There's something about a man's hero's journey that is everything. What else on the book is there anything else we need to talk out or tease out to people to take and get them to order it?
Well, it's a good background of inspiration, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Inspiration and perseverance, and just if you want to quit, if you feel like you want to quit, read this book and it'll get you going, because it'll my experiences I outline in the book are fun, some are sad, some are really sad, and some are a lot. England is a lot more fun. So
there you go. Yeah, I'm looking through the pictures on your website. They're pretty amazing. And then people can sign up for your newsletter to become acquainted for your future books.
Yes, and then I'm going to start that newsletter hopefully next week. So we'll get that going.
There you go.
Yeah,
there you go.
So.
Well, it's been fun to have you on the show and sharing us with the treasure of keep showing up, people, and be perseverant, because you just gotta make it happen. I mean, sometimes that's the way you just keep on trucking. You'll get
That's
by.
right. Yeah.
There you go.
Right.
Which I will get by is kind of the attitude I have when I'm driving in Utah. because everyone drives slow in the fast lane, like the passing only lane. Because, well, I mean, a lot of those pioneer polygamists were inbred. So there you go. 200 years of inbreeding in Utah. Can't figure out the speed. So that's usually my thing. I will get by, but I'm usually screaming at the top of my lungs in my car. No, I don't do road rage, people. It's not. Fred, it's been wonderful to have you. Give us your .coms as we go out and final thoughts.
Okay. It's FrederickLCaddenBooks.com.
There you go. Well, thank you very much, Fred. Have a wonderful life, and we're excited to see what you have to offer for your next book. And, is there going to be a romantic interest in this book, or is it going to be...
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
This guy's on a tear. Man. Wow, who hurt you, Chris? Who hurt you, Fred?
There's many romantic interests in I Will Get By as well. So I didn't.
Oh, is there? There you go.
That. Yeah.
There you go. You've seen a divorce at least once, I guess.
At least once. Yeah.
At least once. Well, there you go. Now you can write a book and then mail it to him. I don't know, revenge book or something. I don't know. Anyway, man, thank you for coming on the show, Fred. We really appreciate it.
Thanks a lot, Chris.
Thank you. And thanks to our audience for tuning in. Order the book wherever fine books are sold. It is called I Will Get By, October 24th, 2024. Thanks to our audience for tuning in. Go to goodreads.com/Chris Voss, LinkedIn.com/Chris Voss, and Chris Voss 1 on the TikTokity, all that crazy place on the internet. Thanks for tuning in. Be good to each other. Stay safe, or I'll pull over the car and come back there. Bye-bye.